Hi everyone, welcome back to this podcast today, which is about the leading to leadership. In this podcast, we are going to invite the women leaders across the world who has done the incredible work into their field. And if I talk, the whole focus of this podcast is to inspire the aspiring women leaders and also the younger generation so that they can learn the valuable insights from these women leaders. And today, I would love to share about our guest who has done an amazing leadership work and has made the impact in her field. She is a brand and communication strategist who is building brands since a decade now. Also, she has been working on brand strategy for various agencies in India and Southeast Asian countries. Also, she is an entrepreneur who run a fashion and lifestyle media portal in India, gaining recognition as a journalist and attended top fashion events in the country and interviewed many celebrities, including Shah Rukh Khan. I would like to share about her journey, but I want her to share about herself. So please welcome to the podcast Raashi Gaur, who hails from India but is currently settled in Singapore with her husband, a daughter, and a fur baby. So, Rashi, please welcome to our podcast today. And I would love that our audience hear from you only about your leadership journey and the roles you have worked in. Please tell us about your experience.
Thank you so much, Himani, for doing this amazing job wherein you're calling all the women leaders because women inspire women. It's one person's success story that inspires the other person to do something in life. So I'm glad that you're actually doing this amazing thing and you've invited me for this conversation. If I am talking about fur baby here, okay, because that is something which is very close to my heart. My pup is 7 months old, and right now he's sitting outside the door and he's not letting me talk to you. Right. So, yeah. So, anyways, coming back to the conversation here, I'm Rashi Gaur. Currently, I'm running a community-based business in Singapore with the name of Fiery Fireflies. This community is it has an agenda. It has an aim wherein women coming from all across the zones, coming from all across the industries under one roof and connecting with each other. Now, all these events are networking events in the base, but we also have speakers who are coming and imparting their knowledge onto some particular subjects, wherein women are getting a chance to upgrade their skill sets, be it on a professional front or personal front. Before this, I have also ran a business in India, as you mentioned. I was the editor in chief for Blind Moon Media, and I started that business from scratch. So, and I ran that particular business for 8 years of my life before moving to Singapore. And it has given me everything from recognition to revenue to the leadership challenges, growth, everything. I have also been the digital marketing and PR head for one of the largest value fashion retailers in India, that's Max Fashion. And I was on a national role wherein I was looking after for the brand onto their brand positioning and communications, the social media, the public relations, and all. I took the plunge from fashion to crypto in the year of 2021, wherein I have also led the marketing team for IBG Finance, which used to be a crypto and blockchain company. And yeah, I keep on doing a lot of projects wherein I keep on building brands and reposition them here and there. So yeah.
Rashi, you have moved, from a corporate job
Yeah.
to a business, becoming an entrepreneur. There are so many women, who has a fear to leave their job, even they want to become an entrepreneur. So, what you would like to say to them, few words that who has a hesitation to leave their job and go into this entrepreneurship journey?
I would say, uh, or in fact, I would like to share my experience how I did it. I was on a full time role and I started at a very small scale, right? I started as a side hustle. And when I knew that, yes, now my business is ready to become a full time business, it is giving me enough revenue and enough money. At that particular time, I left my full time job. So there are ways to do that. I mean, of course, I did not have a child at that time. The responsibility was a little less. But yeah, you have to take the plunge someday or the other. And fine, if it would be an experiment for you, you will you will gain either of the two things. First, either it will be a full-time business, it will be an entrepreneurship, or you will get to know, okay, this doesn't work and I'm made for a full-time job.
And you have done a lot of leadership role, okay? But there is always one starting point from where we start, from managerial to leadership role. Yeah. And I've seen with a lot of women around me, they have a fear of going into that leadership role, sometimes imposter syndrome. Even they have that whole qualification, the confidence and everything, but still they want to like think before that, should we or should we not? And sometimes because of too much perfectionist, they feel maybe should I take this role or not. So do you remember your feelings when you first moved into the leadership role?
Yeah, I mean, I was a writer. I was a copywriter with the company, and I always wanted to write for magazines, right? And because my husband had a moving job, we kept on moving from one place to another, and in India or abroad. So I knew that, okay, full time being a copywriter with an agency or with a magazine is not possible. So I should just start my own blog, and then that blog turned into a magazine and turned into a full time entrepreneurship, right? There was an excitement, there was fear and uncertainty, of course, but then I had nothing to lose because I was already earning my salary from the full-time job. So how I did was I started off on a very low capital model, right? Because of course, at that time being a blogger was easy. You had blogger.com, if I'm not wrong. There were other websites also. So uh, and when I knew that, okay, now I have gained enough viewership and enough readership, then I welcomed the full-time website. I hired the website developer, which again, at that time I was a one person army, was taking care of the social media, also was taking care of the full-time job, also was taking care of the articles, also the entire planning.
Wow.
Gradually I hired more people. And Himani, there was one time I remember I was paying salary for the entrepreneurship using my own salary, which was coming from the full-time job,
Mhm.
otherwhere.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And what I would say your earlier experiences, as you have shared it, but what are some of the personal challenges that have shaped your journey into the leadership?
I would say that there are some things that you're just born with, right? I was born with some creative genes that came from my maternal side, and the parenting that like I'm blessed with the kind of parents that I have. I'm not saying that parents are of course a blessing, but of course the kind of parenting that I had gotten, it played a big role. I was also the princess in the house and pampered and all, but there was something that was different here. uh, I was welcomed with open arms, be it if I have earned a medal or if I have committed a mistake. I knew my parents are standing there for me. Like, I just need to take a turn back and they are there to hug me. So I remember there was a time when I had to take an admission into college, right? And I was just a person who just passed out from school, right? And my father just gave me the money and gave me the form and said, fill up the form. That's the queue. You need to go. I was like, you're just letting me go alone. And he said,
Mhm.
yeah, you can do it. And not only this, there have been many instances. And of course, there was not any societal pressure on me, or certain parameters that were there, that was set for the other girls. I remember in my family, like distant family members, they used to compete and all, but my parents never made me a part of the rat race. That played a major role. They always believed in me. They always, you know gave me freedom to choose what I want to do in life. There have been mistakes, of course, when I wanted to become an air hostess, but then it didn't work out, right?
Yeah.
So all those things, but my parents have always stood by me. Another thing I would say, that I was always an empathetic person. I was always interested in knowing about people. I was always the friendly one in the house. That also shaped me, as a leader, I would say.
And uh, I think either it's a man or woman, the family support is very, very important,
Of course.
into the career journey. I was only onto the leadership, but when we are into this career, but of course, when we reach to the leadership, when we have to see the other people, the teams, at that moment, we need some backbone, maybe
Yeah.
parents, husband, or sometimes children. If
Yeah.
we don't find it there, then it becomes difficult, to continue for a longer time. And I've seen into my corporate, time like work, so many women leaders were there, but because they don't have the enough good support from the family, sometimes they have to leave the job.
That's there.
Yeah.
uh, but I think even if you're leaving the job, I have a few friends again who are brilliant
Mm,
leaders. They had to leave their job because they had to settle down in some other country where there are visa issues, right? They are doing their side hustles
mhm,
within the time frame stipulated, like, okay, my husband is right now out, my children are out for school, this is my time. They are doing it. They are keeping their success rate low, but then they are again taking one step over another. So that is another way. See, people are going to support you if you are going to support your dream, right?
mhm, mhm,
If you are going to have that laid back attitude, I mean, I have always had this never say no attitude and show up no matter what. So if I have to believe in my dreams, only and only then my parents or my husband or my children or anyone else is going to believe in them. So yeah,
yeah.
that's also.
Into leadership role, we see success, yes, but we also see the failure.
Yeah.
And it becomes sometimes difficult also to see the failure because we found very less people to whom to share it around when we are at that position. So I would say that yes, a lot of things would have worked for you into the success. But I really want to know that, especially for the audience, who go into the leadership role, what has really not worked for you into the leadership role? Because yes, people see success, the limelights, but there are a lot of behind the back, the failures which has not worked also. Yeah.
Absolutely. I remember during the early stages of my entrepreneurship, I struggled really hard to strike out a balance between work life and, the personal life. Um, Thankfully, I'm blessed with a supportive partner who's always been there like a rock. He helped me, cooking the food if I am busy in the call with the website developer, or if I know that, okay, tomorrow is a new launch, a new website that's launching tomorrow. So he was there to take care of the households and all. But yeah, for me, that I was under this guilt trip. So it but yeah, thankfully that was settled by my husband. The another one, another struggle that came on my way was not to control my emotions and getting too much attached with my business. That gave me anxiety, and because of course when you're too much attached to the business,
Mhm,
you are a perfectionist, okay? So that was hampering the team building and the kind of people that I was hiring for my work. That of course I had to go through certain changes, and there was a burnout. I had to take a break. It got settled down. I would say that hiring the staff, correct
mhm,
staff, was the biggest challenge here. Like, fine, those were the personal challenges, but here the professional challenge was that, if I'm hiring somebody for the talent, I got to know that I shouldn't have hired this person, because in an entrepreneurship or anywhere else, the values matter more. Skills can be taught. I mean, there are multiple courses online that you can take to learn the skill, right? And of course, then there are mentors that are available. But if the values are matching here, yes, it's a win-win situation for both of us.
And I think you're right, because when I also into my entrepreneurship journey hired many people, I would say as an interns, but it was very difficult. We are right. I was ready to teach them the skills,
Yeah,
give ready to give them the knowledge, but still after that also realized the patience was a
yeah,
big factor. Like everyone wants a success at a very faster pace.
yeah.
So yes, I also face this challenge. And if I ask you, you have must upgraded yourself into the leadership role. So if you can share some key skills, I would say you have developed during your the I would say firstly the journey I would say because you have firstly got into the corporate. So firstly, what key skills you have developed there, and what key skills you have developed for your entrepreneurship journey?
Empathy I was born with, or maybe
Ah,
my parents imbibed that in me. That helped me in the long run. But I would say curiosity and resilience were two things that helped me entirely, like throughout my life, be it corporate, be it entrepreneurship. Because I was always interested in the why nots instead of whys, right?
mm,
Okay, if there is one way of doing it, I was okay. I was ready. I was ready to raise this question. Why can't we do it this way, right? So, but yeah, in the long run, I would say my understanding of psychology and people
mm,
has played a big role. Uh, uh, you have to understand people's core. Really, it's really important to nurture a team. Apart from that, you need to understand what your team's strengths are and weaknesses are, and plan the entire project accordingly. For example, there's a resource allocation required, and I know that this person is not fit for this role, but this other person has the strength. So I would bring in that other person to do the job, because I know that, okay, this person is already struggling with his or her own weaknesses. That doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not going to give this other person a chance. Of course, a chance would be given to learn and to eradicate this kind of weakness. There will be skill set development elsewhere or trainings elsewhere, but onto the project, onto the live project, the strengths and weaknesses play a big role. And respect and freedom, it's a mutual way. You have to understand your team inside out. And uh, I would say, if you won't stand for your team, your team
mhm.
won't stand for you, right? It's a two-way policy everywhere. So what you are serving onto the table, you will get the same.
And with your talk, Rashi, I can correlate also. Yes, when we start our career, the companies ask a lot of maybe these days the product knowledge, the technical skills. But
Yeah.
as we start into this journey of leadership, I think that emotional question, the emotional, I would say the intelligence, the emotional skills, that is also going to require, I think, to be a successful leader.
Yeah. I would give you an example here. One of my teammates, I knew that she was an awesome person. She's very hardworking. She can get the work done faster. So everyone, I'm talking about IDG here, the crypto company,
Mhm.
everyone was dependent on her. A PR release, if it has to go in 4 hours, everyone would go and uh, uh, go to her and get to get the work done. I knew that there is a burnout coming over here, right? And it did. It did. So while she was doing everything, and if I had to go to her and ask her, okay, can you do the social media post quickly? We need to go live in next 30 minutes. But before that, I used to ask, Are you okay to do this? Okay, if you're working on a PR release, I will get someone else to do the PR release because this is more important right now. So this kind of management of resources is very important. And I knew if she would be going for a burnout, it would impact the entire team's performance there,
Mm,
right?
yeah,
So these are the nitty gritty of psychology, concepts that you need to bring onto the table when you are coming as a leader anywhere.
yeah. And what you would like to say to, especially the younger, I would say, women generation and aspiring women leaders, when they have to move into the leadership role into the coming years, especially about the corporate culture, because when we are working as a leader, we have to see the corporate culture and also have to aware about the team also and how they can, play that workplace dynamics. Because it's a very, I would say, short word or easy word to say workplace dynamics. But so many people, they get, like burned out, frustrated because of that. And sometimes they are not able to finish their task on time. So how they can that manage, especially when they move, they have to manage teams, cross-functional teams, how they can do that?
Um, See, there are uh, multiple leadership models. Okay,
Hmm.
so I would say you have to manage yourself before managing someone else here. Okay, mentorship can be given, uh, trainings can be given. You have to manage your own biases first, right? If I know there are biases in every country, be it on the gender, be it on the nationality, and there is politics as well. But if you know that, okay, my work is my priority, I don't need to get involved into all this politics and all. I think that worked for me. I never became a part of politics anywhere. So, and understanding the other person, where is that person coming from? For example, if I know the promotion is not given to me someday, but it is given to someone else, so instead of getting jealous from that person, I would go and find out what is it that is lagging behind, what is it that I need to learn from that person, right? So
But it happens very less.
I know it does, but this is a
Yeah.
skill that is,
Mm,
needed in the world to live right now. That is a world requirement, I believe.
yeah.
So, uh, moving towards your own betterment is more important than understanding why the other person is better.
Mm. And that's how the workplace, you will say, the politics, which comes where people talk why this person has got the better rating, not me. And the whole talks around, yeah,
It's a holistic approach, Himani.
yeah.
I would say that uh, you have to inspire others
Mm,
before pointing out fingers or doing anything. If you're good at your work, if you have that kind of relationship building knowledge, if you have that kind of networking skills, I think you're good to go.
mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you, Rashi, for sharing. You have built, your the community building business. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
So what advice do you want to give the people, or I would say the aspiring leaders who want to create a business around it?
Yeah, community business is the most it thing these days, but it's not an easy job. It's not an easy job.
A lot of investment also is required.
Investment, no, but
Mm,
I mean, capital investment, no, but
mm,
time investment, yes, too
yeah.
much, too much. You need to generate genuine connections that can help you out in the right time. And, before building a community, you should understand that the entire goal of the community is uh, where people are looking to connect with each other more than they are looking to upgrade any skill, right? For skills there are very, again I would
Mm,
say the same point, that there, for skills there are various free courses available. Why would anyone come and spend $50 for your event, right?
yeah.
They are only coming here to network with like-minded people, to learn from each other and to get inspired. And uh, they in today's world, people are looking for connections, like especially in people who are living away from home. They don't have genuine friends, because we are not in that age anymore where we are able to nurture those kind of friendships. Yeah, people do, they're lucky, but everyone is not, right? And at Fiery Fireflies we have mixed both of the agendas, networking also and learning also, and keeping building connections as a primary agenda. Then we have personally I've experienced that the bigger the community, it is losing the whole aspect of community building, because uh, we have mixed audiences coming from every corner of the world. They might or might not connect with you, they might not relate with the subject that you're talking on. In one of the events, I remember it was on social media, I could see that the audiences was less, the signups were less,
Mhm.
but the engagement was top class. Everyone was taking interest. Everyone was interacting with each other. They were sharing their own experiences and they wanted to learn more and more about the subject. So, yeah, our community
Niche is
business,
very important, I feel. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And of course, the bigger the community, the more the signups, there is more revenue, but it loses the whole essence of community building.
Mm.
So that is my one advice. Another advice would be keep your community open and keep it engaged, which is the most difficult task I know, because
Yes.
engagement these days is most important. You have to keep the communication open. You have to, give them options. If not this, this. So these are a few advices here.
And I think something you feel special they can do because a lot of communities are there these days. And everyone is doing almost, I would say, same similar kind of a work.
Yeah.
And what do you think, like in the coming years, something unique can they do so which can help them?
Uh, I would say that is like people are focusing more on the professional growth, right? I can see that there are a lot of events happening on that part. However, people should also focus on personal growth. Maybe people are talking about psychology, people are talking about mental health, people are talking about gynecology, people are talking about medical issues, people are talking about childbirth and all those things. Because we are building a community where people can come and talk
Yeah.
fearfully, right? And there are a lot of people who are facing personal issues more than anyone is facing professional issues. So communities that are more personal issues driven, they are more successful, I would say.
Okay. I always ask this question as like, what's your golden nugget of wisdom for aspiring women leaders and young women to make their mark in leadership?
Okay, again, I
Mhm.
think I have used this word in this conversation more than
Mhm.
10 times now. The golden word is empathy.
Okay.
Uh, that's the only skill that's going to get you
Mhm.
going anywhere. Putting yourself in the shoes of the other person is something that the world needs, and so do leaders of today's generation, right?
Mhm.
Uh, I would say a leader leads the way. They inspire everyone else to follow the path. So make sure that your path is something people look up to, and you are, leaving a trail that people are becoming a part of it happily. People want to become like you. So you have to work on yourself more than your team to become a leader.
Thank you, Rashi. Um, from this podcast, you have given so many insights, and which will help to our audience also.
Mhm.
And yes, these insights is going to help them maybe into their business, into their leadership journey. But one thing also is always required into our is our mentors. If
Okay.
somebody we find
Yeah,
the
of
right
course.
mentor,
Yeah.
yeah, it helps our career journey, I would say, at a better, faster pace. Okay. So, and this is a something which we want to ask from our guest that if you are okay and comfortable to offer the volunteer mentorship to one of the person which we will choose, okay,
Mhm.
And that person will be the person who is an entrepreneur and want to build their business into the community building, and
Okay.
where you mentor the person into their journey. So if you're comfortable and interested in doing that, so we can do. Are you okay and comfortable?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I I would love to. In fact, I keep volunteering a lot. I also run a social media channel, like on Instagram, wherein I keep imparting my knowledge. Okay, no matter if you're ready to listen, I'm there to impart my knowledge. you know, so yeah, I would love to do
Thank
that.
you, Rashi, for accepting this, because I feel it can really help. Maybe I would say with one person, we can change somebody's life. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Yeah.
And kindness should be the motto of the life. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And thank you so much, for coming today and sharing so many insights about your career, about your journey, and shifting from one country to other country, and different
yeah.
challenges you have gone through. Yeah. And at the last, I just want to say, everyone is like, please share with us what is your key takeaways from this session. And yeah, please tag me and Rashi Gaur. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Imani, for initiating this conversation. I have had a lovely time. I went down the memory lane and I had to recall so many experiences here. It was lovely talking to you.
Thank you so much for coming today. Bye bye.
Bye.